I've made over $1 million in the past 12 months using SEO for e-commerce brands, and I can tell you most e-commerce brands are leaving serious money on the table every single month, and they don't even know it. I'm talking about customers who saw your ad, got interested, went to Google, but then bought from a competitor because you were nowhere to be seen. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact SEO strategy that I use to help brands go from $83,000 a month to $220,000 a month, or how I helped this other brand doubled their organic search revenue in just 5 months. There's no fluff, no generic advice, just what actually works. So let's get into it. So the first thing is that most brands target the complete wrong keywords. So the biggest mistake I see is that brands will pick keywords based on what sounds right to them, but not what their customers are actually searching. And so this comes down to something called search intent. And if you ignore it, then nothing else really matters with what you're doing with your SEO strategy. And so search intent is just asking, what does the person searching this keyword actually want? And so there's 4 types of search intent when it comes to SEO. That's informational, which is people obviously seeking knowledge or answers. There's navigational, which are people looking for a specific site or brand or a specific thing. There's commercial, which are people who are kind of comparing products or comparing things before they buy. And then there's transactional, and that's people that are ready to buy and they're looking for the product so they can purchase it. And so for e-commerce, you want to target commercial and transactional keywords because those are people that are obviously in the buyer's mindset. So how do you check search intent without any tool? Well, the easiest way to do it is go to Google and type in the keyword that you're considering. And then if the results are collection pages or product pages, so have a click onto the couple of results that show up. If they're those type of pages, then it's probably a transactional keyword. And so you want to build probably a collection page for it. However, if the results are mostly blog posts or articles, then Google is telling you that like a product page or a collection page is probably not going to rank for that because it's not going to match the intent of what a person is searching for. So the rule is Google will always reward pages that best match the intent, not necessarily just the most authoritative website. And so a real example of this is the keyword pizza oven. So you can search this in Google yourself and have a look. And so the number 1 result shows a store that sells pizza ovens, an e-commerce store. But then if you go a few pages deep into Google, a Wikipedia article talking about pizza ovens shows up. And so Wikipedia is obviously one of the most authoritative websites out there, but it's ranking on page 4 because it doesn't actually match what the person searching is looking for. And so the lesson here is that the person wants to buy a pizza oven and they don't want to read, a full article about it. And so Google will always reward the page that matches the intent, not necessarily the most authoritative website. Now, the next thing that is so important with SEO is, and this is what most brands get wrong, is the collection page. And so collection pages are where e-commerce SEO money is made, and they are where most brands are the weakest when it comes to SEO. So the most common version that I will see is we go on a collection page and it will have a heading, a product grid, and nothing else. That's generally it. And so Google can't rank that page because it doesn't have anything to go off. So a heading and 80 products, as I said, doesn't give anything for Google to work with. And there's a real example of this. So if you go into Hoka, the running shoe brand's website, they're one of the biggest running shoe companies in the world, and they spend millions of dollars on ads and branding and everything. But if you search running shoes in Google, they're not on the first page. They're nowhere to be seen. And so Nike's going to get that sale. New Balance will get that sale. Athlete's Foot will get that sale. They're going to convert people because they are showing up in Google. And that's all because Hoka's collection page has no content on them. It doesn't give Google any reason to rank that page. And so what a collection page actually needs to rank, first it needs a H1 with your target keyword. It needs a short introductory paragraph under the H1 that gives some context to the collection. And that also gives us opportunity to incorporate the target keyword as well. It also needs a content section below the product grid. So that's where you can go a bit more in depth about the collection, add secondary keywords, add FAQs, add internal links. And so that gives Google the full picture of what this page is about. Then you also need optimized meta title and meta description. And finally, if you can, from day 1, set the target URL slug with target keyword, because if you do it from day 1, it's going to compound and build so much authority. Whereas if you change the URL, then that kind of resets the amount of authority that page has. So if you can set it from day 1, keep it clean, have the target keyword of that page in there, you're going to do so much better. So if your collection pages are just a heading and product grid right now, that's exactly what we fix for e-commerce brands. So if you want to book a call, the first link in the description, we can go through and create a strategy together to get your store ranking, making more money with SEO. But let's continue. Now, the next thing is internal linking. This is the most underused lever in e-commerce SEO. And internal linking is what I think is the highest impact and lowest cost thing you can do for your store's SEO. And so what most brands do wrong is they either don't do it at all or they do it backwards. When I say backwards, they mean that they will just link from any page to any page. They'll link from collection pages back up to blog pages that may be not even relevant. And that pushes authority away from your money pages, which is where you want people to be. That's where we want Google to go, and that's where we want people to end up. So the concept is simple. You always want to link down the funnel. So link from blogs pages to collections, link from collections to products. And you're always guiding both the user and Google towards the most important pages because that's where the money is made. Now with this, your homepage of your e-commerce site is probably the most powerful asset because it's the most authoritative page on your website. And so whatever pages your homepage links to in either the navigation or the on-page content generally will get a lot of authority passed onto it. And so those should be your highest priority collections and not necessarily like your blogs or things like that. And so your homepage is the primary source for authority on your site. Collection pages can receive that authority from the homepage and from other internal links. And then product pages will get that authority passed to them through all your internal linking. And as I said, you're always guiding both the user and Google towards the product pages, which is where the money is made. Now, there is a second reason why internal linking matters that most people miss. And that is when you build a backlink to, say, a blog post, that authority can flow on through your internal links to collections and product pages. So you don't necessarily need to build backlinks to your products or collections. And so 5 to 6 collection or product pages can benefit from one external link to a blog post because you use internal links correctly. So this is why blog content is worth creating, even if it doesn't necessarily rank for massive traffic numbers or massive keywords. Now, a few things to get right when you implement this is, first of all, keep the links relevant. So linking from a wood-fired pizza oven to another pizza oven collection is what you should do, not necessarily linking to like your utensils or your tools or something like that. You don't want to overdo it. If you're in a blog post, like 6 to 10 internal links in a blog post is more than enough. If you're doing any more than that, that's just too many. And also put your most important links early on the page because links higher up on the page carry slightly more weight. And sometimes Google doesn't necessarily read everything on the page. So you want to get those first ones in. So if internal linking is something you haven't thought of before or something you haven't set up properly in your e-commerce store, again, this is something we do exactly for e-commerce brands. So click the first link in the description. We can go through it together, create you a strategy, and make sure that you start making money from SEO. So link building is where most brands get taken advantage of. It's potentially the hardest part of SEO to get right, but it's also the easiest part to get ripped off on. And so the most common mistake that I see is people will chase quantity of links rather than quality. So a real client example is one of the brands I'm working with. Their competitors have thousands of backlinks, but out of those 1,000, there's only like 5 to 7 that are from genuinely good websites. And my client has only 22 good quality domains and maybe 200 links in total compared to the thousands of links that their competitors have. Yet we are outranking those competitors because all of those quality domains are relevant and we have way more quality, genuine, good websites that we're getting links from. And so one quality link from a relevant website will generally beat hundreds of links from irrelevant or spammy websites every single time. So what actually makes a link valuable is first the relevance to your niche. So a fitness brand getting a link from another fitness blog is worth far more than a link from a random food blog. And then relevance matters more than the domain rating or the traffic numbers and things like that. So when you hear people talking about DR or DA, it doesn't really matter. Like the relevance is so important. And then a real website with real content and real traffic is also really important. So Fiverr backlinks or PBNs or cheap backlinks packages, they can potentially actually hurt your site. And so there's no shortcut in link building that actually works long term. Like just getting good quality relevant links is really all that matters. And so a major red flag to watch when you're hiring for link building is if they offer you like a set number of links per month. So if they say 2 links or 4 links or 10 links or whatever, that is potentially a problem because real link building doesn't work on like a fixed output model. So every brand is different, every niche is different, and then the best links available will change month to month. Like a set package will tell you that they are potentially sending you to whatever they have in their network and not necessarily what's best for your site. So the right approach is to have a monthly budget for links and then spend that on the best available links that you can get in that specific month. So the full SEO playbook. Target keywords based on search intent. So make sure that you focus on transactional and commercial intent keywords. Use Google itself to find intent. Like that's literally the blueprint right there. So see what is ranking and what you should be building. Build collection pages that Google can actually read. Have a H1 with your keyword, intro paragraph, content section below the grid, and so forth. Use internal linking to push authority down your funnel. So link from your blogs to your collections to your products, and never the other way around. And put your most important links early on in the page and also keep them relevant to that page. And then finally, build quality links, not quantity. Relevance is much better than volume. Avoid fixed monthly link packages and budget for the best available links every month, not for how many links you're going to get in a said month. So most e-commerce brands are actually losing traffic, not because SEO is too complicated, but because they are making the same four fixable mistakes. And these mistakes happen all the time. I see them all the time. And first of all, it is targeting the wrong keywords and targeting what just sounds right and what they think people want compared to what the data actually says and what customers are actually searching for. Secondly is having thin collection pages. So giving Google no content, nothing to actually rank, just a head in a product grid. Like you're not going to get any success with that. Thirdly is not having any internal linking strategy, or worse, just linking backwards and pushing authority away from your money pages. And then finally is chasing link quantity. So paying for packages that deliver volume of links is not really that valuable. Could potentially actually harm your website as well. So the bottom line, this is how I've managed to generate over $1 million in e-commerce SEO revenue in the past 12 months. What it all comes down to, Google is always rewarding the page that best matches the search intent and not necessarily the most authoritative website. Collection pages are where e-commerce SEO money is made, so you need to make sure you treat them that way. Internal linking is the highest impact and lowest cost thing you can do for your store's SEO. One quality link from a relevant website will beat hundreds of links from irrelevant or spammy websites. Finally, there is no shortcut in SEO that is going to work long term. SEO is an ongoing compounding machine, and if you do these things correctly and you continue to do them, you're absolutely going to see success. So here's the truth. Every brand that I mentioned in this video, the ones that are going from $83,000 to $220,000 a month, or from $16,000 to $36,000 a month, none of them were doing anything revolutionary. They fixed their collection pages, they had a proper internal linking strategy, they built good quality backlinks, and they kept doing it long enough that these results could compound. That's really it. The brands that struggle with SEO are the ones that either never start, hire someone cheap thinking they're getting a deal but actually see no results, or they stop after 3 months because they haven't seen anything and they haven't let the compounding returns actually have effect. So if you want to know what's actually holding your store back in Google, click the first link in the description. You can book a call with me and we can go through your store together and I'll show you exactly what your store is missing to make SEO a profitable channel for your e-commerce brand. So it's time to get your brand showing up where customers are actually searching. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.